Om Stapakaya cha dharmasya sarvadharmasvarupine avatara varishtaya Ramakrishnaya te namaha. Jananim Sharadam Devim Ramakrishnam Jagadgurum Padapadme Tayo Sritva Pranamami Muhurmuhu. Namashri Yatirajaya Vivekananda Suraye Satchit Sukasvarupaya Swamine Tapaharini. वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचानूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्. So we are in chapter 3 for those who don't remember. So after all the descriptions about Chitta Prajna, etc., which Sri Krishna talked about, in fact, the last sloka is very beautiful in chapter 2. Visesh Brahmi Sthiti. I think that was the last one. Yesha Brahmi Sthiti Partha Nainam Partha Vimuhyati. Once you reach that Brahmi Sthiti, you are no more deluded. Vimuhyati. Nainam Prapya Vimuhyati. Sitvasyam Antakalepi Brahma Nirvanam Hyati. By abiding in that state, even at the time of death, one is united with Brahma. So he has described in great detail about the Sthita Prajna Lakshanas, how a person behaves and so on. It was so alluring, so nice. So obviously, Arjuna is asking that question. If, by abandoning action, if one can attain such a great state of mind, why do you want me to be involved in this terrible war? Very logical question. ऐसा हो तो क्यों आप बोल रहे हैं? Tat kim karmani ghore mam niyojesi Keshava. See, discriminative insight is superior to action. By discriminating and knowing the truth, by being established in the state of Sthita Prajna, if that is superior, why do you ask me to fight? It's a very, very logical question. But Gita is a great scripture. It's not something, whether it happened or not happened between Arjuna and Krishna. What is that to me? That kind of thing is, that's what we have not been able to really leverage. So एक मिशन का एक बहुत ही बड़ी महात्मा श्री स्वामी रंगनाथन जी used to meet many big people, dignitaries. So I think the chief of army, I think he once met him. He saw in his desk copy of the Bhagavad Gita. क्या करते हैं? हर रोज पढ़ता हूँ, रख देता हूँ. So he never thought that it can be connected to his work as a general of the army. Then Maharaj explained to him, no, this is to be connected. What you do, how do you live, unless otherwise, it's no meaning. So that is the problem with most of the people in the world. See, the religion goes one way, the daily life goes another way, the profession goes the third way, the personal life goes fourth way. So then there's nothing. So there should be harmony. You only see everywhere, it's not only, harmony means we always think there's no harmony of religion, Hindu, Muslim, same. No, that is different. Even internally, in our own life, unless there's a complete harmony between different aspects of our life or different functions, different roles that we play in life, unless there is a beautiful interconnectedness, life would become meaningless. One may be young, one may be middle age, one may be old, one may be even very old. So everywhere, wherever one is, so the real secret of life, ultimately lies in finding this interconnectedness. Only those people are happy and kind of fulfilled life they live. Not those who are very rich, not those who are very poor, not those who are big position holders, not those who are big scientists or artists or anything. Unless you find that beautiful, complete oneness, interconnectedness in the life that we live, life will not reveal you any meaning at all. Wherever, see, our samskaras, our past, our upbringing, so many things take us to different positions in life. Someone ends up as something, someone ends up as something else. But somewhere when you understand the need for this complete uniting all that and finding a common base for life, then life becomes extraordinary. You may be a simple housewife, you may be a retired person, you may be an active wherever one might be. It's always possible to live a great life. When you find that, then whatever you do is connected to a central idea. In that, so whenever you want to do something, you always judge yourself in the light of that central idea. This is what my life is. Does it align with that? I do. If it doesn't align, you don't do. So life gets largely more simplified also, more organized, far less complications, far less conflicts, far less problems. Everything will be good. So the ancient way of Hindu life was this complete harmony. This dharma that completely ruled their entire life, whatever they do, whether it's business, whether it's agriculture, whether it is trade, whether it is something else. Because we lost this, so our scriptures, our ancient things, they become completely delinked. They are going in some other orbit. So we are in some other orbit. Now and then we try to seek some connection there. No, it has to become a much meaningful association whole idea. So when he asks why Sri Krishna wanted him to participate in this battle, we are all in this battle of life day after day. See, we are all in Kurukshetra only. We are all Arjunas and Duryodhanas and Pandavas and Bhishmas and Drona. They're all there in the situation we live every day. So it is not exactly taking bow and arrow. Sometimes it's gun and machine gun, and then words in return, hurts and joys. So it's all in various forms. We go through this process of participating in this war of living a meaningful life. So there's always the the demoniac qualities of Duryodhana. It's not only in the existent world outside, within us also. More and more, it is also a fight within ourselves. The Arjuna and Duryodhana within me is constantly fighting to win over each other. So if Arjuna wins, we are a wonderful organized person living a beautiful life. If Duryodhana wins, we commit mistakes, we commit sins, we do unethical things, we do immoral things. So it is so this is because he wants us all. So through this scripture, that's why it's called scripture of mankind. We're all advised how to live a life of great harmony and meaningfulness. So in that connection, so he would advise us. So simply you cannot say that it won't do to say that I will easily. It might look attractive. People what they do when we are full of problems, when there are terrible problems all around, terrible conflicts. Suddenly go and sit somewhere, try to close your eyes and meditate. Will it happen? It will not happen. That's what Arjuna is trying to say. It's full of problems, difficulties, conflicts. Who will win? Who will lose? Who will get the share? Who will not get the share? All kinds of problems are there. In between, he thinks that I will go and close my eyes and meditate and not be in the war. You're constantly fighting. Fighting is going on in your mind. You may not take up the bow and arrow outside. What will happen to you? What's happening inside? So Sri Krishna says, no, that won't do. That's not the way. It's very good. The idea of being in the complete state of equanimity, being in the state of asthita prajna, being in complete oneness with the infinite, realizing your true nature as someone beyond all that. It is all there. But there is a process. You cannot simply say that right now I just close my eyes and do it. No. You need the preparation. You need to get over these demons, these asuras in you, the negativity, the problems, and all that. Unless you go a certain stage forward, unless you understand all that, clear all this battlefield, then only you have to slowly prepare yourself. At the end of it, it's possible. But why he told him? only to make him understand that all these are all ultimately would mean nothing. You are winning the war, not winning the war, killing Bhishma and Drona, not killing them, surrendering them, you are not taking to bow and arrow. Nothing would matter at all because they're all predestined, already worked out. These are all due to some samskaras. If not you, someone else. These decisions have already been made for you. That's what he showed them. These are all already made for you. Why are you trying to resist? You can't. So, if you willingly participate in this war, then through that a redemption is possible. War would bring its effects, no doubt. There will be loss, he would lose his son, Abhimanyu was killed in a tragic circumstances, so many things all would happen. Bhishma would die, Drona would die, everybody would die. That's the way of the nature. Jatasya hi dhruvam mrityu dhruvam yasya mritasya cha. Tasmat apariharyate rasvam sochitimaras. So you don't think whoever is born is going to die, and whoever is dying is going to be born again. So why do you worry about that? Something which you cannot, something which is apariharya, which cannot be avoided at all. What is the point you are grieving about? Supposing you know that uh, you have purchased maybe Adani stocks, and you're seeing the market is going down. You can't be for it. You have purchased, it's going to go down. Only wait that when it will come up. So no point. What is going to happen for certain? What can you do about it? So that's why he says. Then he explains to him, it's not something totally new. Lokasmin divida nishta pura prokta mayanaga. There are two paths. Long ago I had advised. It's not new. It's very ancient. This path of the Sankyas and the Karma Yoga for the yogis. Jnana, one is path of jnana and the path of karma. They're all, long ago it was advocated. So again, what does it mean? So if both the paths lead to different results, obviously you would not say I have these were through ancient paths. The very fact that he says from ancient days there were these two paths, that means both the paths would lead to the ultimate goal. That's the implied meaning. Otherwise, you would not say that in the times of war, twofold spiritual path was taught by me, meaning thereby there are two approaches to the ultimate. That's what she clearly means, both leading to the same ultimate goal, namely realizing the true nature of oneself. And then he says, simply, by nakarmanam anarambhan, naishkarmyam purushosnite, nachasanya sanadeva siddhim samadhi. Just because, anarambha is not starting. We're not beginning any work. Nakarmanam anarambhan. And then, does not gain the state of spiritual inactivity or passivity, naishkarmya. Because, what he says in the last thing, what is the nature of a Sita Prajna, person of steady wisdom, does not spur, does not get agitated, that, all that. So, all those give an idea that if one is completely free from any sense of participation, then only one can reach that complete state of equanimity on a Sita Prajna. So he says, simply by anarambha, simply by not starting any work, one does not gain the state of spiritual inactivity or the complete calmness or equanimity. Then it's called naishkarmya. By mere external abandonment, the one cannot attain to perfection. Nasanyasanadeva siddhim samadhi gacchati. Simply by abandoning, one cannot get to perfection. Why? Then he explained why it's not possible. Nahi kaschit chanavapi jatu tishtati akarmakrit. Karyate havasha karma sarva prakriti gunai. No person, chanavapi, person who is born cannot be without action even for a second. Then karyate havasha karma sarva prakriti. Why? The impulses of nature, prakriti, deprive him of freedom in this respect and compel him to act. So everybody who is born is compelled to act because that is the very nature of creation, it is the very nature of Prakriti. All that is going on. The moment you step in this world, if the child does not cry for a few seconds, everybody is terribly alarmed. Gone. This child has not cried. When cry is so important, that means participation, action. The child does not act, gone. So, from the moment you are born till you die, there is this sense of karma, this sense of participation. So then, what's the idea of talking about Naishkarmya and all that? Is it not possible at all not being involved in any activity? Yes. That means it is not that one is simply your hand and feet are tied and you are tied to a pillar and you don't do anything. No. The very work will become non-work. It will all be dealt with much later. Yomam see karmani akarmaya pashyed akarmani cha karmaya sabuddhiman manusheshu. It will all come later. One who sees work in action and inaction in action. So really, it is not that it doesn't mean that one would completely stop functioning totally. It would mean that the very orientation, understanding, everything will be totally different. See, a person like a trade Brahmagyan, so say Ramana Maharshi. Sri Ramakrishna was a person who was established in Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Afterwards, was he not moving about? Was he not meeting people? Was he not talking? Was he not eating? Was he not going to the Khajanji's office or whatever it is? Was doing everything. So, the work becomes a cause of bondage or attachment only under certain conditions. Only when there is a sense of ego, sense of I-ness, my work, aham and mama. This idea of ego and the idea of me and mine. If that is not there, the same work becomes a cause for great redemption. Because as long as you have body, as long as you are physically existing, even if you don't do anything, constantly there's an action of breathing. If you don't breathe, you will die immediately. There are regular sense of your digestion, your breathing, your other things. All these functions keep on going. Are they not action? So voluntary, involuntary, everything is. So action is not something that can be avoided, nor is it necessary also to avoid. What is really what Gita talks about is how can you really qualitatively improve the work, your sense of participation in this world. How do you make it in such a way that it elevates you? So the idea is for the most people in this world, they need to participate. One thing is, they say is what Prakriti makes it very completely essential or inescapable or inviolable law to function. And he says, Nahi Kakshit Chanamapi. Apart from that, you feel that by nature, because we are all not evolved, there's a tremendous urge or tendency to participate or do karma in this. That is one thing. See, even he says for people who have attained to a great sense of equanimity, equilibrium, equipoise, a great sense of calmness, stillness, even they have to function, they also have to perform. What to speak of ordinary people like us who are full of restless mind, constantly needing to work for this or that, under one occasion or another, for one reason or another. So, what is the solution? Is it trying to somehow close our eyes and say we are not working? Or can we qualitatively improve the way we function? That's what Krishna is trying to teach. So, you work, you do everything, but same time, you see absolutely you are not in any way involved. And this is a famous story. The the great sage Durvasa, he was known for his anger. He would curse, and immediately people will become totally destroyed, so to say. So he came once. They all have eaten everything in that Akshay Patra, nothing was left. So they had only one great Akshay Patra. From that they would prepare anything and they could eat. Then he comes, and once there's a huge. There are two, three stories. One is this: I'm very, very hungry. I want to. Then some say it's with Pandavas, some say it's with gopis. The storylines more or less say everything is. Then huge quantity of everything was prepared. So he ate everything, and then the river was overflowing. It was floods. Then he says, if I have not eaten anything, let the river become divided into two so that I can cross. Immediately the river became two. Now, what's the idea? Although he ate everything, he never had the idea that I am eating it. So, if there is no ego attached to our action, if you can really keep away that, then it's possible to do anything that you do. Still, it would not. See, in some functions, we definitely do. If you do, otherwise you'll be caught. Supposing you are a cashier in a bank, you're counting lakhs every day. If you think it is my money, you're gone. You'll be arrested immediately. There we understand that it doesn't belong to me. It belongs to the bank. I'm just only a servant of the bank trying to do this. But consciously, can we do it in every action of our life? Without desiring, this will bring me name and fame, this will bring me more comfort, this will bring me more money, this will bring me more this. Without all that, why it is difficult to do without ego? Along with that ego come all that. The sense of attachment, the sense of name and fame, the sense of possession, the sense of raga, dvesha, jealousy, all that come along with that ego only. If that ego is not there, there is no anger, there is no raga, there is no dvesha, there is no lobha, there is no isha. Why? Because I. If this I-ness is gone, you will be afraid of whom? Whom would you hate? What would you crave for? I crave for. The I or the ego is behind all these functionalities. The moment this I is kept apart, with whom can I get angry? Because I is not there. I am angry. I hate that person. I have desire for this. I have greed for this. I have hatred for this. I have jealousy for this. Everywhere that I is involved. If the I is kept apart, then you do anything. You are given a million rupees to distribute. You think I am just a postman. If the postman thinks that all this money is my money, gone, he will be arrested the very next day. So everywhere in this world, when we understand that we are functioning just as so, there are various attitudes which scriptures like Gita prescribe for people to adopt. That accordingly, if you do, your life can be very, very extraordinary. That's why he says, you see, simply you say that I will not do, that will not be possible because it is very nature, it is very construct. We are made to act every second of our existence. That is true of a absolutely ignorant person, a person full of ajnana, fully in this maya, samsara. He also acts. The highest Brahmagyani also acts. What is the difference? Because of his involvement and this idea of me and mine, this ahankar, इससे से इतनी ज़्यादा उनका बंधन बनता है. He completely is bound hand and feet by the attachments, vasanas, desires that are generated from this idea of associating with I. Everything. You don't know who am I. So everything will be removed immediately in a second. So when in case of the highest, what happens in the case of the highest personality or the person with the highest idea of knowledge or oneness or supreme realization? He knows that there is only one. There's nothing divide between me and the other person. There's nothing like me and you. There's nothing division. There's no boundaries. There's no border. There's only one homogeneous whole. Then where is the second entity to feel angry, jealousy, lobha, desire, hatred, irsha? Nothing is possible because there is no second entity. Supposing there is, in this room you are alone, then there is very, you won't have any occasion to get angry with it. With you, there is empty room, you are alone. No one is there. Will you bang the door or your head against the door? No, no anger. Why? Because no one to feel angry about, no one to feel irritated about. So, like that, if you feel a kind of oneness with whole creation, oneness with everything in your life, that is the state of a person of the highest realization because of his expanded idea of his own nature, personality, that he is the one Atman or the consciousness. He does not see a second at all. So he says everything is happening. He simply remains as a witness. Everything goes on. There is no sense of participation as I am participation. I am doing this. I am responsible for this. It is my possession, my property, my desire, my love. Nothing, no mind there. So that's why he is trying to teach Arjuna. Don't say that I will not participate. That will not, that's not your nature. You cannot. You have to evolve. You are in a very stage of an infant. You are full of problems. You are full of desires. You are full of difficulties. Why are you pretending to say that I have reached that supreme state of a Sita Prajna where you need not do anything? Such people, there is an option in them. The highest kind of realization that Gita also talks about later. Yastu atmarati revasyat atmatriptascha manava atmanyevacha santushtaha tasya karyam na vidyate. For such a person, there is no enjoined duty at all. For all, till you reach that supreme state, there is a sense of duty because your father, your mother, your husband, your wife, or your sannyasi, you are somewhere in the society, outside, whatever it is, your brother, sister, anything. So every individual in this world has a sense of duty, has a sense to be performed. Kartavya is there for everyone. But when you reach that supreme state where you are not apart from the rest, where there is one supreme whole or oneness only, you are that is all. You have reached that state where you are completely you abide in that awareness that I am the supreme Atman. That is your joy, that is your bliss, that is your participation. There is no second entity to identify, so there is nothing for you to do. Where will, how would karma will originate? Only when there is a second entity. I have to give something. Unless there is someone to receive, to whom will I give? There's no one to receive. Will I give to myself? There's nothing. So when you reach that supreme state, because you don't see any duality, you don't recognize any duality, you do not perform any action with the idea I am performing, I am giving, I am responsible, I am angry, I am satisfied, I am happy. No such thing happens. Then they also do, but not with the sense that I am doing. It happens. It happens by their very nature. I just only stand as a witness, see all that happening. I don't identify myself in any such action. So Sri Krishna says you should evolve from this idea. I am an individual. I am leading the Pandava army. I have to do this. I have to win this battle. I have to defeat the Kauravas. All that might be there. But slowly, as you participate, as you engage, you evolve and go to such a stage whereas you find that it's all happening by itself. Nimitta matram bhavasavasa. I am just only a nimitta. I have no individuality to say I am doing. Whether I want it or not, Arjuna is only incidental. If it's not Arjuna, there will be Karjuna. Someone will come. He will win the battle. This is how it is going to, the ending, everything is all predetermined. So when that is going to happen, at some point of time, as one evolves in life, as we go on performing, then slowly we understand that we are just mere instruments, or we have to go through all that. Ultimately, only to understand that I'm not part of all that. I am that thing which is without any distinction, without any difference, without any feelings, without any separateness. Then you are completely in the supreme state of oneness, and afterwards, everything just by itself they go on. You have no sense of agency, you have no sense of. In Bengali, there's a very beautiful uh, saying, they say jhoder etopatha. They say just like the dry leaf, juta patta jo hawa mein उड़ जाता है ना, has it any agency of its own? जैसे हवा है उस तरह जा रहा है. It keeps on flowing in whichever way the wind blows. It has no agency. Will it say the leave? No, no, I won't go in this area. I want to go east. No, it has no sense of agency. Simply it is being carried away by the wind. So you resign yourself to the ultimate in some way or other. There are different types of attitudes that are prescribed for people how to function in this world. So one way or other you can give. So he says, you cannot say that the very nature will drive you to act. You cannot be that even without a second. So he says, Karmendriyan, then he really cautions, Karmendriyani samyamya yaste manasasmaran indriyarthan vimudhatma mityacharasya. This is the greatest problem. So when people understand, they read here and there a little scripture, they listen to some YouTube talks and Advaita or whatever it is, they think that no, 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 we should not do anything. It is all bondage. So I will not do anything. Karmendriyani samyam. All these, the eyes, ears, nose, etc. These are all called the indriyas of action or the karmendriya. Samyamya, controlling them. No, 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 I will not. So you're sitting. But mentally you're thinking, when can I go? When will be, oh, that wonderful rasagulla that I ate there. Oh, the wonderful dinner I had, so and so. That wonderful, beautiful person with whom I live. So, you keep on mentally going through all that. Physically, you are just sitting tight, closing your eyes, you are meditating. But your mind is 1,000 times more active than physically. In fact, quite often I say that when you do something, your mind seems to be less restless than when you are not doing anything in meditating. Because at least the mind has got focus on one particular thing. But whereas when you meditate, you want to be completely free from all thoughts. 1,000 more thoughts come and occupy your mind. So that's why he says, Karmendriyani samyamya yaste manasasparan. Keeps on thinking in the mind 1,000 things. Such a person, indriyarthan, he is driven by the senses. So he is vimudhatma, is a deluded person, and mityachar is called a hypocrite. So it's better to honestly accept that this is my state of mind. I work, I will sincerely work, and through work, by hard practice, I will try to. But see, it doesn't mean that, it doesn't say that you should not do meditation or you should not do prayer, you should not do, no, it doesn't say. All that are also work only. They are only action. What is japa? It is action. What is dhyana? It is mental action. Dhyana is, it's also an action only. Going beyond dhyana is the ultimate idea. To go beyond dhyana, we take to the aspect of dhyana, which is the mind, through the mind, because mind is the most powerful instrument which God has given us, which is Prakriti has given us, which nature has given us. We don't have anything more powerful than the mind. So what is dhyana? Through mind, we try to go beyond mind. That is dhyana. So whether even that is also action. That being so, how can you say that by a person who does not do all that, who closes his eyes and does not participate, he controls the karmendriyas, but manasasmaran, he keeps on mentally participating in all that. Such a person is called is indriyarthan. Is a person, is uh, uh, indriyarthan means is the objects of the senses. Smaran is thinking about the objects of the senses. Is called vimudhatma. Is a deluded person and is called a mithacharya, hypocrite. So that I think more or less up to that we kind of did. Then he says, Yastu indriyani manasa niyamya arabhate arjuna karmendriye karmyogam asaktasya visishyate. Now he says what exactly is to be done. What is the prescription? He says, Yastu indriyani manasa niyamya. So, one has to definitely control the mind. See, when you say that you have to participate, that doesn't mean keep on doing whatever the mind wants. Then you will be nowhere. You will be doing all kinds of wrong things only. Because the mind can go in 1,000 directions. So, samyama, niyamya, manasa, niyamya, aravad. So, the indriyas have to be yastu indriyani manasa niyamya arabate. One who starts work, starts functioning by controlling the mind. The mind has to be controlled. As we told, this is not the way. Guru Maharaj gives a beautiful example. When the elephant goes, it extends its trunk to the neighboring on its way to the houses to pluck something. Immediately he hits it with that ankush. Then it withdraws it. Like that, when the mind goes here and there to wrong places, because no, every grown-up person clearly understands what is ethical, what is moral, what is permitted, what is not permitted. We have largely a sense of all that. But the mind, because of its physically there are limitations. Mind has no leash. It can go 1000 millions kilometers also. It can go anywhere, do anything, whatever it is. So it's absolutely, it's a huge world of million possibilities. But then if you really want to achieve that steadiness of wisdom which is talked about, first of all, there's a process of controlling. The mind has to be regulated, controlled. No, don't go here, don't go there. There's a code of conduct for householders, for sannyasins, for others, for elderly people, for young people, for everybody. So there have been over thousands of years have been evolved, thought about, and prescribed. So you control the mind and then sense organs, and then becoming non-attached, asakta, and then he becoming unattached, karmendriya karma yoga, then to dedicated action, he lives a life of communion through dedicated action. Sa vishishyate, such a person alone excels. So, doing work, participation is completely unavoidable. You'll have to participate. What is the way to participate? You have to use your indriyas, the actions, the organs of actions, which are the instruments that are given to you by nature. You have to use them. While you use them, allow the mind to regulate them. The organs of actions are there, your hands, feet, eyes, ears, everything. But then you regulate them. Don't go in forbidden areas. Don't go. See, what is the problem? Yes, I can think something very bad also. After all, I am not doing. Then what will happen? Again, the mind will go back. It will create more restlessness. Because you see, all these are all not the real nature of our real personality. In our real nature, the we are all, according to the Shastras, nothing but that supreme Atman or that supreme Chaitanya or supreme oneness, which is by nature Shuddha Buddha Mukta. That is pure, that is knowledge, that is enlightenment, that is light, that is Ananda, everything. So obviously, these are all not our real nature. Even in existential sense, also, there is not our real nature. Going and stealing, somebody has got a very beautiful, maybe Honda City or maybe BMW or whatever it is. So mentally, you think that what happens if I steal that car and I'm driving? Mentally, you're thinking that will only bring more and more such vrittis. Then you will think, oh, who else has such cars? Where else can I go and steal? Where all I can go to all kinds of, it will go on building. So when you use the mind to regulate the action, whatever you perform through the indriyas, if there's a complete regulation, filter of the mind is used, the mind can be used that no, these are all the things you can. Then if you regulate, then simultaneously you also think about not being attached, that I am doing, I am responsible. All that you get through understanding. See, right now it may not be an experience to start with. When we begin our journey, we might not do it from a sense of experience. I have understood that I am the Supreme Atman. I am that. You are not established, but you have heard, you have read, you have understood. So you are practicing. See, that's what Gita says. Yadyat acharati shreshtaha tatyeva itaro janaha sayat pramanam kurute lokas tadanavartate. What great people have lived, what extraordinary people live. So in our Hindu tradition also, the first and foremost is Shastra Pramana, then the lives of those who have lived according to Shastras. So you know what is permitted, what is not permitted, what is ethical life, what is moral life, what is that life that will lead to calmness of the mind, What is a life that will lead to happiness? Happiness is the mind. What is that that will lead to a pure sense of calmness, peace, happiness, contentment, everything? So you use your mind to regulate the indriyas. Go and make them focus, go in directions which are conducive to such a life. So that is one thing you do. And the same way, constantly you start practicing the idea that I am not attached to the results of this. That's what he will say somewhere else also. That karme karmanyevadikaraste mafaleshu kadach. It says you have the duty to perform, but not to the results thereof. So you say, I am going to do all that because then you have a different. So that also Sri Krishna will teach various attitudes. What are all the attitudes that are possible? You can say that you are the children of God. You are the in whatever way you can assume yourself. You can be great devotee, a Brahma, Krishna, Durga, Lakshmi, and all that. As God's child, God's children, I will do only. So it's all God's work. I am just only a agent or just a nominated person by God to perform. That's one thing. Or you can say it's all part of the great oneness. I have nothing like an individual identity. What should I? Why should I? It's all happening in the by the very nature of Prakriti. Nature. I have nothing to do. There are not all these are going to happen. So with some right attitude, constantly you practice the idea of detachment. See the why karma is so much feared. Why in the traditional schools everyone says that you have to give up karma at some point of time, because karma itself means duality. Only there is a second entity you can perform, and karma always leads to result. And if you have any sense of agentship, it completely gets attached to you. You become responsible. You want to enjoy. You want to participate. That brings bondage. That brings attachment. So they say completely avoid. But if you start practicing initially, it may not be possible to be very very successful to start with. But if you very sincerely and diligently practice the idea, no, 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 this is not mine. It's the Lord's work, Bhagavan's work. I am just an instrument. Maybe you are a mother. Say that I have to, oh, these are all these children. I have to feed them. I have to do, make them. So you think, no, no, I am doing, I am feeding, I am, but no, it's all somehow by God in a mysterious way have brought all these people in my life. I have nothing to say. Is it my choice that they are born as my son, my daughter, my this and that? Somehow something has happened by the very nature of creation. They are all there. So my duty, maybe as a wife or a husband, as a son or a daughter or whatever it is, I do, but I have nothing to claim as my own. As a part of Prakriti, as a part of divine Leela, as a part of being God's creation, as a part of being God's children, as a part of being the infinite Brahman, with any attitude, when you constantly remember and try to function that way, then every work will produce its results. No work would go without result. Whatever is done is going to produce result. So when Sri Krishna says you do not aspire for the results, that doesn't mean that they will all be useless work. Every work will definitely produce result. Only thing is when you want to appropriate the results to yourself, then the danger comes. If you say, yes, I have done. The results, it's God's wish. If it happens this way, it's very good. If it doesn't happen, it's okay. Now, all these arrangements were made, they have with the online and this and that, everything suddenly there's a big power cut. No current, no electricity. You are not able to see me, I'm not able to see you, or not to hear me. What can be done? You have done everything. It's Lord's wish. Again, if the power comes, we'll do it. Otherwise, you will sit and quietly spend some time and go away. Oh, why it has happened? Oh, Haryana government is always like that. No, no use fretting and fuming. So if we understand the nature of Prakriti, how it is happen, how we all have to function, and then it is possible to slowly improve qualitatively the way we perform. That is the way to growth. Because action is unavoidable, participation is unavoidable. All that is going to happen. Now the idea is by participating, if we keep on acquiring more and more bondage and attachment and all that, We are only going down and down and down and down and then into that labyrinth. No, I will do this. I will arrest this. I will not allow this to become a slider. I will not get into that. Even while I do, I have to perform. Sometimes good. There are people. See, there was now slowly that post is gone. There is a person who was a hangman. His very duty was to hang people to death. If he thinks that, oh, I am killing so many people, it's gone. There won't be any livelihood for that person. He has to think that no, it's not my duty. I am not even here to judge whether it is right or wrong. I am just commissioned to do this by the Lord's will. Then I said, pray. Imagine such a how you would feel. A person his very duty is to hang others. You cannot think of a more terrible job than that. And but then it's very important. It's very important. In that sense, no, we must not lose our sensitivity. Oh, it doesn't matter. You keep on killing, committing any acts of violence, and they say, oh, I am not the doer. That is not the way. I am responsible for all my actions. But if I do with an idea that I am not the doer, then qualitatively my performance improves. I don't get attached. I don't develop bondage. I don't develop ashakti. Then slowly I evolve in the scale of spiritual evolution. That's what Sri Krishna will slowly teach him through these 18 chapters and make him participate in the war. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat. Sri Ram Krishna Arpanamastu. We'll see again. We're not able to do it very regularly because of so many other commitments. I have to go to Rishikesh very regularly because we have set up a new retreat center.